Hi Aquarius, welcome to your October 2019 read. Welcome to my channel. This is a new channel and I'm so happy to have you here. If you enjoy the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I have been reading tarot for several years and I have just shifted from Facebook, where I've been doing readings for the collective almost daily in my go lives, to YouTube to reach a greater audience and get in touch with more of you. So Aquarius, sorry that this reading is late. I underestimated how long it would take me to do all of the readings. Do know that timing is fluid. So that means that whenever you come across this reading, that's when it's meant for you. I'm a believer in divine timing, so even if you read the title to a video and it's not even for your sign, if it really resonates with your situation, maybe that one's meant for you. If this doesn't resonate, that's okay. There's lots of readers on YouTube. Feel free to check anyone else out, that's fine. And if it does resonate and you're looking for more information, you can reach out to me. Information will be in the description box below the video. Hello, good morning, kitty cat. And we can set up a private reading if that's something that you would like. So I've already meditated with the cards, your energy, Aquarius, but we're going to do a little bit of a shuffle here and see if we get some cards coming out for overall energy of the read. Find out what's going on for Aquarius. What's Aquarius need to know for October 2019? Okay. How appropriate for Libra season. It's funny, a lot of the readings have ended up having similar themes in them. Obviously it's through my own lens, so it gets a little bit of my energy going into it in terms of how I interpret the cards, but the Libra energy has been so present. It is Libra season, so it's not the first time that I'm seeing the Temperance card come out for the overarching energy. And before that one came out, we got our Seven of Pentacles. So this is the card of patience. It's sowing the seeds and waiting to see those seeds bear fruit. It can also be a card of impatience, depending on how you look at that person's face there. I get the sense that there's a little bit of a feeling of impatience right now regarding a certain situation, so we're going to get into it. And, you know, the message from Spirit, of course, in Libra season is all about justice and balance. So we didn't get the Justice card here, but it's a similar energy. It's very Aquarian, seeing that water flowing from one cup to the other. Is it flowing up or down? We don't know. 1 foot on solid land and 1 foot in the water. So that speaks to the emotional realm. Could be speaking to love, but it's very much about the spiritual journey, moving from the shadow realm into the 3D, into the light. So you can see the path behind there and moving towards those mountains, towards the sun. So as I often say, we are in a process, but we're going to find out what details there are for you for the month of October, Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know for the month of October 2019? Oh no, someone else got this one as well. Alright, well, we'll see what else we need to know for Aquarius, October 2019. Please, Spirit, make it plain, make it clear. What does Aquarius need to know? Gosh, it's always about communication, isn't it? In one way or another. Oh, that's funny. Just seeing so many similarities in the reads this month. Oh, that's a lot of cards. We're not taking all those. What does Aquarius need to know? Matters of communication and matters of the heart. That's what it's all about. People waiting for their ships to come in and waiting for messages. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so I did a reading last night for, who was it for? Capricorn. We got some similar cards. We'll get some clarifications, but so I'm using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, I believe. Yeah. And we start out with mental conflict. So this card is analogous to the Two of Swords, air energy, the realm of the mind. This can be creativity against logic, can also be the mind versus the heart. It's a very challenging energy, of course. It can represent indecision or a refusal to go into one's emotions and instead being really, really stuck in the head. I mean, this deck makes it pretty darn clear, mental conflict. The person has a really, the gaze seems very clouded. They're up in their head, they're looking off, not looking directly at us. It's like getting stuck in the mind trap. And the mind is a tool for helping us navigate our world. It really helps us, be able to make decisions, do things in a logical way. It's meant to keep us safe. That's ultimately what the mind is for. The trouble is it can be a tool, and it can also be something that stands in our way. So it can start to draw us away from wisdom. So I look at what happens in the mind. This is knowledge. This is the place where wisdom happens, in the throne of the heart. So, and it's very interesting because I would say that this could be a matter of the heart. It could be to do with career, it could be to do with finance, it could be to do with family, all of those sorts of things, but it's affecting the heart area, and it's a matter of communication. We get that waiting energy, potentially feeling dissatisfied with things that have come through in the 3D. I was listening to another reader a few days ago, and it seems very relevant to you, Aquarius, in this reading. This idea that there's processes going on in, this can sound pretty woo-woo, but in a different dimension. So in the 3D, you've got not a lot of action is happening, in regards to whatever the situation is, really waiting for those ships to come in, waiting for the communication, or waiting for whatever it's going to take for you to communicate what you need to do, because our second card was the throat chakra. So there's a blockage there. These cards we're not supposed to read in reverse, so there's no reversals here, but we pay particular attention to the ones that come out in reverse. Throat chakra. What is it that's blocking you or blocking the person that you are dealing with from being able to communicate what's in your heart? Because heart healing needs to happen right now. These are the only chakra cards that we got, but that's pretty amazing to get to. It's pretty clear. Communication about a matter of the heart, something that's really important to you, even if it's your job, even if it's family. It doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be. And it's really, it's something that has the potential to bring you so much, I was going to say joy. I don't know if it's joy, but our next card is material and spiritual prosperity, right? So this is our Six of Pentacle energy, and it has to do with giving and receiving. It has to do with the exchange of energy, and I think that there's this deep desire for that exchange of energy to be happening in our 3D world. Like, tell me or let me tell you, let that communication happen, and you're being asked to be patient. You're being asked to use the spirit of temperance, find balance within yourself, and recognize that, it may or may not come, but Spirit has things for you that are going to come through while you're being patient about it. And I know that it's very hard, and I think this has come through in almost every single reading. It's a collective energy, which is what I used to only read for. So there's potential here in this situation for you to do two things: experience material prosperity and spiritual prosperity. The material prosperity has to do with letting it go for the time being and working on things that are not relevant to it. Working on your career, money making, taking care of your body, all of these other things that are very, very important in order for your functioning, not getting so caught up in the current situation. It's pretty important that you are working on creating foundation and stability for yourself. This is what you're being guided to do, as you have to be patient about a current scenario with someone else. Now, also in the challenging aspects of this scenario, I literally just spoke about this because these are repeat cards. I'm amazed, that I'm getting the same cards here. The spiritual prosperity often comes from the most challenging situations. That's it. So we're offered things a lot of the time by spirit or by the universe that we don't really want, or a scenario that's not working in the way that we had hoped or expected. And it really is our responsibility to be able to look at it and go, how is this filling up my spiritual bank account? I spoke in another reading about this idea of having multiple bank accounts. Someone shared this with me last year, and I just thought it was brilliant. We have our financial bank accounts. We have spiritual bank accounts. We have emotional bank accounts. We have energetic bank accounts. There's many different dimensions on which we exist, and it's kind of like in a video game, those bars that go up and down or fill up and deplete as we play the game of life here in this 3D. It's really suggesting that we take this time to balance out other areas of life that are not the situation that you're waiting on. So it's about sowing seeds, and it has a lot to do with that pentacle energy. There's a dissatisfaction in this individual's face, but I think it's very important to recognize that, it really does take time. It really does take time. So don't give up hope. Recognize that the things that you are doing now may not show signs of growth for a while. Things may not come to fruition for a little while, and that's okay. That's the way that it's meant to be. You're being told right now. That's what Spirit sees. In terms of the situation that has to do with the heart and the throat, there are feelings potentially of yours or by someone else in the scenario of deception and envy. So this is a 7 of Swords energy. So it's like someone getting away with something and it's bringing you distress. Or you're getting away with something and it's bringing bringing the other person distress. But this I would say that it's bringing you distress because of the mental conflict card, and we're speaking to you, but know that you can always switch this around to your person in this scenario. Ultimately, there's a blockage of the throat, of communication, and of the heart. And it feels like a letdown. I see, the face of this individual in the Deception and Envy card, as well as this card here looking down. There's a feeling of being defeated to a certain extent. Not completely giving up, because there's still attachment to the scenario. Obviously, we're reading about it. Spirit is answering your question about it. But there isn't this... Things are not what you thought they were, and that is causing the mental conflict. How does one move on from something that, you have every right to be struggling with it because it was different before. It was different before. So we can see the Deception and Envy card. This individual had this beautiful, beautiful mask on. It looks like it was, I don't know if those are feathers. Looks like feather. It almost looks like a moth. I love moths. They're so beautiful. Looking at something that was really beautiful before, and maybe it had you fooled. There's the potential that someone in your life is taking off a mask and showing their true colors. There is a possibility that through this process, in the way that it's bringing up so much mental conflict for you, that it's actually making you address your own true colors. So look at your shadow, which has come up in all the readings as well. Really look at yourself, when you're under strain and stress and feeling challenged and not getting what you thought you were going to get. What does it bring up in you? You're choosing to be aware of it is how you can be victorious in the situation. It's like, what can you gain spiritually? What can make you prosperous in a very unfortunate situation? One that's causing a lot of stress in the mental space and causing a lot of pain in the heart chakra space, right? So we're going to clarify this for sure. I just think it's really incredible that so many people are going through such a similar process at the moment. I think with this deception and envy card, it's really important to recognize here that the person that you're dealing with, or you, as these masks come off, which is very, very much a Libra season thing. Here are many readers talking about this right now. The masks come off. All is revealed. And there was another reading that I did. I can't remember who it was, but we got an oracle card called All That Glitters. And it had sort of come out in a very positive way. You know, they were having very lovely things happen in romance, but I do want to speak to the alternative meaning of that card, because I do think it's very relative to what we're experiencing here. All that glitters is gold. It's like, well, is that a statement or is that a question? Is all that glitters gold? I really don't believe in, yes, there are people who do absolutely terrible things in this world, 100%, but I don't necessarily think that people come into this world bad, evil, that sort of thing. So if someone has wronged you, or if you've wronged someone else, there's always room for compassion. You can see that the person is looking down. I don't think this is with malice. I think this is with regret. I think there's really, really strong feelings of regret, potentially regret in yourself for having reacted a certain way, or having been involved in a situation like this, regret of that person for having worn a mask, not been honest about what's going on, and there's always room for compassion. Maybe that's the therapist in me, but there's always room for compassion and growth. But I do think that at this point, because there's the closed chakra and there's the closed throat chakra and the closed heart chakra, we're finding a little bit difficult to make space for that growth. So I'm just, gonna really, really speak to that overarching energy of the Temperance card and the Seven of Pentacles. Patience, temperance, balance, coming into balance of your own energies without, if you can, worrying so much about this other person. I know it's really hard because it's almost like really wanting, what's the right word, like equanimity or retribution. Like you want the situation to come into balance, and it's just not happening that way, and that's really hard. So try to fill up your other bank accounts. Focus on the material prosperity, which seems to be something that's opening up for you, and spiritual prosperity. What can I learn from this situation? It's the best approach to take. Let's clarify the mental conflict card for Aquarius, please. What does Aquarius need to know? Gosh, okay. So it came out sideways. It turned sideways in the deck. This is almost like a choice. This card here, this is my Nine of Swords. Is it my Nine of Swords? Yes. Nine of Swords is like sleepless nights, really overthinking. This is clarifying our mental conflict card. This is the depression card. And I'm not necessarily saying that someone's going to go down that route. I would say, because it came out sideways, I would never tell someone that depression is a choice. I work in mental health, and I think it's extremely important to recognize that depression is very complicated. There's biological factors, neurophysiological factors, chemicals in the brain, lifestyle factors as well, experience of trauma, all of these things. The point of this card and it coming out sideways is to recognize that it's not necessarily depression, but overthinking and sadness. And there's a difference between depression and sadness. Okay? Just want to make that really clear. You can choose how you respond to a situation, and you can choose how you manage your emotions. Emotions are going to come up no matter what. Mental conflict, you can choose to walk away from that, right? You can choose to recognize that you're feeling conflicted and sad, give yourself compassion, and then move in a different direction. That's a choice that you do have, okay? So I just wanted to make that really clear. Okay, So the throat chakra. What does Aquarius need to know? What does Aquarius need to know for October 2019 about the throat chakra? What does Aquarius need to know for 2019 regarding the throat chakra? Ooh, here it goes. Yeah, okay. So we've got our Six of Swords. This came out in another reading as well. We're getting a lot of crossover in the readings this month. The throat chakra clarified by the Six of Swords, again, mental energy. We have a lot of being up in the head, in the mind, and having trouble dropping down into the body, which is very, very important if you want to process and clear a lot of this stuff. This is the moving on card, and this is actually a positive card in that it's the moving from these choppy waters into smooth sailing. So there's a sense of relief that can come with this card. There may be communication, or there may be a choice to move forward with communication or just let it go. That is up to you. If this is your energy, if it's your person's energy, they may have moved on. I don't think, so I just heard regret. So if someone has moved on, they're moving on with regret, right? This is not a situation where two people are feeling good about what has gone down. Yeah. But there may also be relief at the same time. And I don't know if that's relief for you, if you'll experience relief if you just walk away. Relief for you if you choose to move forward and communicate somehow. It's hard to say. I don't really get the sense that this, I don't know, it doesn't seem to communicate to me that, communication is going to happen. But we can clarify and take another card. I'd like to actually clarify that. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. That was unexpected. Okay. Oh, wow. So, in order to move on, a communication does seem like it needs to happen, and I don't know if this is you or your person. It's really hard to say, Aquarius. We do have, sorry, I should show you the cards. We got the Knight of Cups. This is a messenger, poised, ready to take a step, but still not quite doing it. The communication is going to be one of love and compassion and definitely emotions. Is it going to tell you what it is you want to hear? That I don't know. I don't know what it is you want to hear, or what it is that you want to communicate, but there apparently is love here in this situation. I'm surprised at that. This is probably your person. I don't know. Don't worry too much about gender. It's just about an energy. You can be male, female, gender non-conforming, whatever, and still embody the energy of the Knight of Cups. So just keep that in mind. It looks to me that a message is going to come through. I don't know which direction, but it's a message of love. Will it be accepted? I don't know. Someone in the situation holds the power. I don't know who it is. This individual is a very mature energy. So this person who holds the power is someone who, I don't know if you can see that foot right there, it's someone who has actually become the king by being the knight first. That is someone who has done the work, has really, really gone through many things and come out the other side victorious, very fruitful. This could also be pointing towards needing to focus on that pentacle energy. Distract yourself, go do something else, really work on what's good for you, and building up other areas of your life, and then maybe the communication comes through once we've had patience. That seems to be a very clear message right now. I don't know if I need to clarify the heart chakra, seeing as we just got our Knight of Cups and our Ace of Cups. Like Ace of Cups, the aces are very important cards if you're new to the tarot. Aces are like a divine offering of something of that element. So cups is liquidy, watery energy. It is literally emotions and love. That's what it is. And it came out right side up, both of these. Gives me the feeling, Aquarius, that this is going to happen, that information is going to come through, and it will be an offering of love. Do you want to take it after all this mental conflict, after you had decided that you were moving on? After all that, I don't know. I don't know. So let's clarify the material and spiritual prosperity card. Wow, what an interesting reading. There's so much in common for people right now. Ooh. Material and spiritual prosperity card. Do you want these ones here? So we get our Eight of Cups. This is also a moving on card. This is moving on in the realm of emotions. So we've got our moving on in the mind, dropping it, thinking about something else. This is mental relief, this one, which was coming up for the throat chakra. So there may be mental relief when communication happens. The material and spiritual prosperity card, clarified by the Eight of Cups. That will happen to you as you keep journeying into emotional maturity, understanding that the moon is only illuminated by the sun, but we don't know what it means to live in the light unless we experience the dark, right? So really needing both. We can't just say, I don't want the shadow and I reject this. It's willingly putting down the cups and not knocking them over, being like, these are very full for me. I have a certain level of emotional maturity, knowledge, wisdom of the heart, spiritually full, and yet choosing to continue to journey. What does that mean for you in this situation? I have no idea. You tell me. It does seem to me, because ultimately you have free will, so when the communication of love comes in and clarity of some sort, well, I don't know if it's actually going to give you clarity. We didn't get a sword. We didn't get the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords or the Knight of Swords. So communication might come through, but you might not trust it. Yeah, but it might give you the nudge that you need to move forward in a scenario, either by walking away or walking towards that person or the situation, knowing that spiritual growth is possible here. It's not a lot of clarity, is it? Okay, deception and envy. We're going to clarify that card here. Ooh. Okay. There is an offering of love that comes out, and we're looking at other things here and refusing to look at what has been offered. You may have just reached a breaking point. You may have just reached a point where you're like, this caused so much mental conflict and anguish. This situation, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I refuse to look at it, so I'm just moving on and looking at other options. This card tends to indicate to me stagnant energy. So it's hard to sort of look at it as moving on. Yeah, I don't know if this is you or your person. Someone here is refusing to... You may offer clarification at a certain point in order for you to move forward, and that offer may be denied. And someone is deceiving themselves. Someone is deceiving themselves, and I don't know if it's you or the other person, but there's not a good energy about this scenario. I'm going to clarify with one more. I need to know about the deception and envy. Hierophant. So Hierophant, this is it's a Taurian card. It's the Taurus card. It can also represent, going by the book. It can represent feelings of obligation. The person who is currently being deceptive, causing envy, maybe trying to make things right, but going by the book. You may also be embodying this energy and instead just I love that, it's a religious symbol, but I kind of look at it and be like, bye, moving on, stepping into kind of like the priestess power, but it has a closeness to it. The priestess is empowered but open and willing to learn, whereas this is a closed off energy, and it's like, I don't know, is this you? Is this the other person? There's a spiritual lesson in what's happening. You can be prosperous, and yet it's kind of still coming out with a sour taste in your mouth. I don't know. There's most certainly a blockage with this energy, even in reaching out. So that's something to consider. Anyways, this reading is going quite long, so I'm going to go to this oracle right now. What does Aquarius need to know of this situation for October 2019? Aquarius need to know. Nope, not that deck. Okay. What does Aquarius need to know for October 2019? Oh, there it goes. The mystery. Oh, golly. Sacred Journey Markers, number 52, the mystery. There's definitely a mysterious process happening right now. It is something that I really, really feel like is happening on a spiritual plane and is not manifesting in the 3D reality, and that is what's causing so much anxiety and frustration. And you are not alone in this. A couple of signs are going through this, not everybody. I can't remember who it was. Someone is going through some like super duper romantic, amazing stuff right now, and I don't know who that was, but it all blurs together in my mind. This marker directs you into the unknowable mystery on your journey. It is a sacred place where all things are created but are not yet formed. Got some karmic stuff happening, people. It points the way to pure power and potential, which means the magic of intention. It tells you that the magical, unknowable forces of destiny and fate are working in your life. The forces that you can never fully understand or control are indeed weaving their magic around you to help you fulfill your true purpose. So everything happens for a reason, and I know we don't want to hear it. There is, however, a warning to be humble here. So maybe don't go crashing into your Hierophant energy. The mystery reveals itself only when it chooses and not when or how you demand. It's that impatience. The cosmic laws operate here outside of time and space, outside of human influence and intellect. Only hindsight will reveal their patterns. Only total trust and the deepest faith can be your allies when the mystery appears as a sacred journey marker on your path. So if this is not making much sense to you, the scenario, why is this happening? Why has this person changed? Why am I changing? Why does this hurt so much? Hello, mental conflict. Hello, mental distress. You're being told that you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith in whatever it is you choose to have faith in, but just faith that there are things happening in a way that you don't understand, because underneath the surface, where you can't see it, alchemy is happening. The magic is happening. The cosmic laws operate here outside of time, space, outside of human influence and intellect. Only hindsight will reveal their patterns. Only total trust and the deepest faith can be your allies when the mystery appears as sacred journey marker on your path. Sometimes it may seem as if you're going backwards, but truly, if you look at a spiral, it goes up, back, and around, reaching upward, although it may seem for a time that you are not. You're indeed progressing. Trust the mystery and keep going. Kind of like the sacred path there on the Temperance card. You'll be able to take steps soon. You just don't understand what's going on right now, and that's okay. For now, trust that the thread of your life is woven into the pattern of the mystery with beauty, grace, strength, and purpose. This marker is an auspicious and profound omen that shows you that you are on the correct path. So essentially, if this feels like a crap storm, which sounds like it is at the moment, definitely in that heart space, try to keep the heart space open. Really, really focus on the heart chakra, what that means to you personally. Do not worry about the other person. Recognize that clarity about the situation may come It may come 10 years from now and you look back and go, wow, I am so glad that I did not go down that route. Or, wow, now I understand why that was happening. Clarity will come, but at this point in time, you're really, really being asked to just have that faith in the mystery and give that a chance. Okay, now I'm being drawn back to this little one here. It was like, no, not yet. What does Aquarius need to know for October 2019, the Libra season? What does Aquarius need to know? Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay. You got the why card, so we're really, really like, there's so much of this energy. Why? This one here. Why is this happening to me? What is going on? Why? And it's not being answered in the way that you want, because the tarot never really answers in the way that you want. It answers in the way that you need, which is, you know, on your spiritual path. Oftentimes, the things that are happening on our spiritual path are things that we don't perceive in our 3D reality. What we're perceiving here is painful. The growth is still happening, though, under the surface. So that's why, if that clarifies it all. But yes, the why card. This individual is touching a book that has wings. I spoke in one of my other readings earlier. Someone had gotten the wisdom card, and there's an individual holding a red book, and there's a red book right here. A lot of linked symbols in the cards that I use. And we were talking about personal guidebook, or what do you call it? Like an instruction manual for yourself. That's what you're doing right now. That's the process. You're building the manual. What are my values? What will I put up with? What will I not put up with? What do I want to invite into my life? These are the things that you are currently writing. So focus on you. Focus on you, the here and the now, and developing that. That is what's important. Fork in the road. Now this one came out upside down. I don't usually read reversals for oracle cards, but there's definitely a choice right now to be made, and it's a choice that I think you've been, oh, that's interesting, 31 and 13, you put them together, you get 3113. Interesting. I don't know anything about numerology, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe you know. Yeah, so this is about making a choice, but I think there's sort of like this, do I communicate, do I not, do I wait for communication, do I not, do I move on, or can I choose to just be okay as things are and try to cut some of these threads so that it's not taking up all of your, taking up all of your mental space. I just saw this big, like, yes, in my brain. Yes. The point is to, not to, like, let it go, but to just like let it drop, let it settle. It's all about that Libra energy coming back into balance. Yeah, letting it settle for a while, focusing on other things that are important to you. That's all I got for you, Aquarius. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you're looking for more information and you'd like a private read, feel free to reach out to me. The info will be in the description box below, and I will see you next time.